You know that my wife and I were the first Americans to live and work on a little island of Mop. Yap. I don't know how many of you kids have seen any of my slides or anything. I don't show it very often, you know. Anyway, I taught 3 years in Whitehall, and then we accepted the challenge of going in the Trust Territory of the Pacific, and we were the only two going to Yap that year. And they assigned us to Mop Yap, which is a beautiful, beautiful island in Yap District. The water around there is just unbelievable. You can't. Beaches, grass huts, just unbelievably nice. Except it was rough paradise because of the mosquitoes. We had 2 typhoons there. One of them was over 200 miles an hour, which cleared many of the huts. We had no electricity for 3 years. The girls wore grass skirts, the guys wore loincloths. The year before, they tried to have school, and one of the ex-teachers had messed around with one of the older girls, and so they beat him. People from the villages came and beat him with bamboo poles and put him in a boat, and luckily they saved his life. But they didn't have school from September through May that year, the year before we got there. So it was tough because the kids were not used to this one. They were not used to sitting and learning and all that kind of stuff. But it was still a great place. It was 87 every day. It was hot. Anyway, our job was to teach English as a second language. We taught those kids, and then we had adult classes in the evening. Now their culture is completely different than ours. They had 1 meal a day usually. They would go fishing at night, and they'd spear a fish and bring it back and eat it the next day. Anyway, anything about our culture was completely different than theirs. But my wife and I liked it. It was a tough place. No electricity. We had no electricity for 3 years while we were there. The second year, we took a group of boys to Guam. And we bought shirts for them and shorts that no one had ever had shirt or short, you know. We didn't get any girls to go, unfortunately. But the girls all wore grass skirts. No top. Anyway, it was a really good experience going to Guam because people on Guam treated us really well. We went to school, Anderson Air Force Base there, and some other places. And so the next year, we heard from a junior high school there. And they said, we'd like to bring our kids to Mop. And I thought, great, I'd love that. I'd love for our kids to experience it. So they did. In the spring of the year, they came to Mop, and it took a while for our kids to integrate, you know. What if you're a boy? What do you say to a girl that doesn't have any top on? You know, stuff like that. Stuff like that. And you know what made me feel so good though was we had a game called Scramble that I started like that. Okay, and we played Scramble with their kids and our kids mixed together, 2 teams. And the way you play Scramble is you have like a soccer ball and you try to kick it against some kind of goal you make up. Okay. And we played Scramble for almost an hour and a half. Okay. Their lunch time usually was about an hour. Okay. Always at 12. You know, we had no clocks. 12 o'clock. And those kids got so they just loved playing together. And I thought, okay, here we got a junior high school, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, from Guam, which included American service daughters and sons. You had African Americans, you had Filipinos, you had white Americans, you had the people who were native of Guam are called Chamorros. I don't know if any of you have ever heard that or not. But we had Chamorros, and then we had all our Yapese kids. And it was just wonderful to see these kids all playing together, enjoying themselves, and liking it. It was the most euphoric day I've ever had in my life. You know what I mean by euphoric? It's just a terrific feeling. And what united us was playing this game together, okay? And it just was super. So, anyway, those are my 4 stories, and I appreciate talking with you. And if you want more to eat, there's probably more.
Yes.
And thank you guys.